Hi, everybody. Hope you're doing great today. I'm doing a client session, psychic wisdom and energy healing. That's what I do for a living. I navigate extraordinarily unique circumstances. Everybody's situation is original. Now, the theme is demonic entity attachment. We'll see what it looks like in the energy world. I'm going to be reading the goals here the client shared with me, and then I'll be putting on my special eyes, and you'll get to follow with me along into the energy world and this circumstance in order to see what it looks like and see how I navigate it and what advice is going to come through. So I'm all about transforming disharmony into harmony, and we just work through the riddle of this unique situation. So I want to thank you big time. This is you, the client. Thank you so much for reaching out to me and sharing your story with me and your circumstance here and offering me an opportunity to help you out. And thank you so much for sharing with us here on YouTube because it is so unique. The world needs to have a little bit more access to different approaches on how you can navigate a situation like this. So I'm going to read what you shared, and I did take notes. You sent me a lot of content for me to evaluate. And so I'm going to read what you initially wrote and just share a little bit of a few other details, and then I'm going to get started, okay? So you say, "Hello, Abby. 4 years ago, I came to live in a haunted house. There was a lot going on, and it was really traumatic. Luckily, I moved away from that place to a new home, but sadly, two types of entities moved with me to my new home. I tried many healers in the Netherlands through these 4 years of suffering, but until now, no one seems to be able to remove them. I had one encounter with a good healer 2 years ago, and that was able to temporarily remove it, but for some reason it came back. The entity came through a Facebook video, or rather was attached to the Facebook video and entered me, specifically my nose and forehead. The healer that could notice it told me it was demonic, and the only reason it could attach was because it was already in a low frequency because of the house and in fear, because that I was already in a low frequency. I asked him why it came and if there was something he missed while he did the healing. Maybe some kind of contract pathway, or that it simply wasn't cut off from the source, but sadly he didn't know. The entity that is in my body is situated at my nose and forehead, third eye, and I am also experiencing some form of sticky, heavy energy in my home, which is being controlled by the nose and forehead entity. So these are the two things primarily, is the entity at the nose and the forehead, third eye, and the sticky, heavy energy seems to have its own life force or willpower. And so that's the other one that you've been struggling with. All right, so the sticky energy, some sort of black goo, was attached to my personal belongings that I took out of my family home when my dad had already passed away. I have no idea how this energy came on my belongings, but it basically spreads everywhere, mostly through me as the host. It is a rather complex situation. My only wish for 2026 is to be free again. Let's see what we can do to help you get that wish for 2026, shall we? All right. So some of the other details you shared, and this is significant because this situation is making you feel like you're not yourself. That's a big part of it. And so when you're inside your home, you'll feel weird, on guard, unable to relax, weirdly active, which is not my true feelings or emotions, is what you say. I also don't feel much love when I'm inside the house. I just feel very strange there. Then you say, but when I am somewhere else, for example, my step-parents, I feel way more normal and I can actually grieve and feel tired because I permanently am. I would still have the demonic entity attached to me, but I feel 80% more myself when I am not inside my home. Even just opening the door and stepping outside gives me intense relief, like a burden that falls off of my whole body. We've also shared about the black goo, and depending on where it attaches, it can create great hurt. For instance, if it's on and inside my stomach, you say it hurts so bad, and it also changes how I feel. It sounds weird, but it makes me not me on an emotional level. I'm just reconnecting with everything here, all my notes and everything you've shared. And I'm absolutely ready to help you. I'm so ready to help you. Okay, I'm gonna be putting on my special eyes here and then we're gonna get started. All right, so I'm getting in the zone here. You shared your perspective. This is the human perspective and what you've been through, right? You really laid it out on the table for me and for us to get a feel for what you're going through. All right, so when I step into the energy world, I'm opening the door to navigating this riddle, which is full of energy patterns and meanings why everything, okay? And I'm going to experience it perhaps identical or in its own unique way. But we're going to actually navigate through this and transform this. So give me a moment here to see what the first thing is. Yeah, okay. It's almost like I'm looking through water, but it's not water. It's more like clear sludge. And it's over my eyes like glasses, but it's not a framework. It's more like somebody threw mud into the eyes, but the mud is clear. And so there's this eyeball sensation, and then it affects my third eye. There's a lot of pressure here on the third eye. And when I try to look forward, I see there's a light that's coming up from above, and then this light is shining down. It almost seems like a curtain that's kind of open at the center, and we have a dark side on the right, a dark side on the left, and this sort of triangular shape of light that's coming down. What I'm looking at right now is obviously, what in the world is this? What does this have to do with you? What is this saying about your circumstance? And I'm watching someone who's almost like in between a mature adult, like a grown man. Facial hair is what you represent. It's facial hair, a mustache, brown hair. There's like a grown man, almost like a cartoon drawing. You know how people will go to amusement park and there'll be these people sitting and they kind of over exaggerate your face. It's like a big over exaggerated sort of masculine face put on a childlike body, with the sludge on the eyes, walking into a barren room with this light. There's no nurture in here at all. I feel like the light is fake. Also, it provides kind of like it's made out of dust. It's just made out of dust. This light is. You kind of look like a bobblehead as well as you're navigating closer to this light, but everything is just dusty. And it's kind of like a forgotten attic, and it's broken, and it's like made out of plywood, so it's not smooth or soft. I noticed that in the shadows of this room, there's these doll-like figures with all their eyes are open, and they're all watching you at the center as you sit down in what appears to be light. I'm gonna have to do I'm gonna have to ask some questions here, so it's gonna seem like I'm talking to myself for a minute. For instance, I'm asking, okay, where actually are you? Because the more I look at this framework, it's way too convenient. I feel like there is another aspect of you somewhere else that's more essential than what is being presented here. I find that these dolls, they carry eyes that then see. So there's eyes in the dark that see. And you are what is in the illusion of light, and your eyes are covered. So there's always going to be sludge covering your perception of things. I'm sending a part of myself off into just the infinite wherevers in order to locate another version of yourself. Where is that part of you? What is that part of you seeing? I'm still skimming the surface of this is the first energy pattern, okay? This is the first page in a very long book. So I have to start from somewhere, okay? So that part of me is looking for an aspect of you, and I'm moving through this scene like right straight into what is like the wall in the back, through the dolls and everything. And I'm just moving through this wall. And I notice this place is kind of like a mirror maze, because in a mirror maze, you might run into a mirror thinking that it's actually the pathway forward. So you just run into walls on accident because it's a mirror maze. It's meant to be tricky. So when I move through here, it's almost like spinning mirrors, many spinning mirrors that are making it hard for you to determine the pathway. But you kind of have left yourself behind and you're settling in to some space. Why are you settling into this space? That's why what I'm looking for is where is the aspect of you that is not going to settle for this? You know what this doll place reminds me of? You know, there's this old movie and it's just a figment of my past. It's just a very faint recall. And I'm pretty sure there was a scary movie in the 80s that was called Dolls. And the dolls literally are made out of people who once entered this space, then were murdered and turned into dolls themselves that then go on to continue this murder environment. I that's all I can remember about it, but I feel like you're kinda becoming one of these dolls, and there's something very sad about allowing yourself to sort of merge with the horror show of this space. And this space is a container, it is a home space. You'd asked me to do healing for your house so you can cope with living there. But I'm gonna tell you about spaces here because just because it's a haunted house that you once lived in, or you're bringing the memory of that energy now into these new spaces. And also there seems to be a source for this black goo that you have come across, so you're bringing it into your space. And so it's clinging to you, it's working through you, it's even working through social media that you're receiving, you're interacting with, and then it's reaching you through that as well. So this introduction of a space, which isn't good enough for me, is still a starting point, because there's more to you than this perception is providing that you may even know about yourself. And so, yeah, this could be like the Dolls movie. This could be reflecting like the haunted house and what is watching you in the dark of the haunted house. What has the right then to murder you and transform you into a doll so you could be part of the creep show factor of this weird story? None of this is allowed actually to be a part of your story unless you want to be written into that book. So you got to find out from deep down inside yourself what it is you're really seeking to get out of this life, because it might just be paranormal. You might actually be seeking to live a paranormal life. It's interesting because my name, I go by Abbey Normal, right? The abnormal brain. Like, so there's funny twists about that. That's why I do it. So it's like paranormal, Abbey normal. I don't know why the word normal, it's like the normal things that are para or ab. Strange normal. The strange normal. And so you living a paranormal, like your name could be para. Wasn't there a cartoon called Paranorman or something? You could change your name in a way, as it would actually help you to understand the kind of life you're wanting to live is paranormal. So you're going to be introduced to paranormal things. Now, that's so far my experience. So you are attracted to a haunted house. You're attracted to seeing the black goo. You're attracted to having the awareness of entity attachment. But what are you going to do about it? You will be animated by their stories or whatever you've decided they mean to you. You're going to let the creepy dolls kill you and turn you into one of the dolls too, so you could know what it is like to endure such a strange reality. So it's a paranormal pathway for you. So that is who you are. That is the life you chose. Now what are you going to do? What are you going to do with it? Because this is like letting yourself be consumed by a bunch of ants. And then what did you learn from that? It's kind of weird. It's interesting because you say that a lot. You say this is kind of weird and this is kind of weird, and it is. It's totally weird. I'm familiar with it because I know about all this weird stuff as well. And so what I do about it is I let it be itself, but I let myself be myself. And then I look and I observe and I explore and I touch the energy and I shift energy because I know that's my role here. My role is to navigate riddles, is to solve energy riddles and to present that to help people find their ground with themselves, their reality, and empower their pathway forward. So that's what I'm doing with my paranormal version, my Abbey normal version of reality, okay? So this is the advice. You need to get to know yourself because you're literally an experiment. You're your own science experiment. That's the next thing. You are your own science experiment. Okay. You need to raise the bar here of your potential, of what you can do with the things that you're discovering, that you're perceiving. Okay? But it doesn't get to puppeteer you. It gets to do its own weird stuff, but you are more of the observer. You don't get to merge with it and it just somehow takes over your well-being. Because that's not setting boundaries with the paranormal. That's becoming part of the paranormal story and letting it break you down. So you're going to have to set boundaries with this stuff, okay? But let's keep going because I'm not running into the demon or the black goo yet. I'm running into this for starters. This initial perspective is essential, okay? All right. I'm moving through, I'm in this mirror maze. Another me is looking for the part of you that is raising the bar of who you are. I got to find that you, not the one that just succumbs to the space. Because this is going to be a very difficult life for you if you don't step it up. Because what this is telling me as well, this initial scene is telling me that it's almost as if nobody told you about your personal power. And so if you're choosing a paranormal life, you're going to be attracted to for some reason. It's going to feel very weird, right? Because that's the key word. It's going to feel weird that you would be attracted to a haunted house or that you would see that black goo, or it's going to be weird because it's going to feel weird and everything about it is going to be weird. But you don't, like, you're not going to be able to thrive in the paranormal study life if the science experiment is done to you, is going to break you down till there's nothing left of you, of your well-being, of your identity, because you have to find out who you are, be you. Now let the paranormal stuff be the paranormal stuff. So you don't go into the doll movie, you actually witness it and then wonder about it and define it and share your stories with others, kind of thing. Or you go into the matrix or into the energy riddle or whatever words you want to use, but you go into it to actually understand what creates that structure of reality and what is beneath the surface. Like, what is deeper than this? Why is this at the surface? What is deeper than what is at the surface? And you will go into dimensions that you would not even believe are real, and you will experience them, because that's what happens when you take the bull by the horns, or you succumb to it. This haunted house will then be your aura forever. This entity will forever be a part of your face. Because it isn't actually you, it is information that you're perceiving. But you're not understanding that you are bigger than the information. Not the information is bigger than you. So if it's harming you, then it's crossed a boundary. You got to be the one to set the boundary. Okay. I know this is still going to lack clarity, but this is what I'm supposed to say for starters, okay? But let me get into this next space here. I just move through these mirrors and I'm kind of bored of it. It's like it's trying to be these professional ballerinas in some way, kind of twirling around, but they're just like mirrors twirling around. And so they're always moving. So you always run into, and you never really see because they don't seem to reflect back your true reflection. It's like they're reflecting empty. They just don't reflect anything. They just keep spinning and spinning. So I just move through, and I'm starting to notice that as I move through here, like and I'm paused because there's so much energy buildup, like earwax, and that might be the black goo you're talking about, but it's energy buildup that is like walls and walls. It's like here's a wall of it, but there's a wall upon a wall, 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 and you're basically being buried in this material, and it's like earwax. And as I'm moving through this stuff, like I always feel energy here at the top of the nose and the third eye, but I don't experience an entity. I experience your frequency digesting information. It's your frequency seeking to see, seeking to have awareness, seeking to explore, seeking hardships even. That really, is it a demonic entity or is it you? This is what boggles my mind about manifesting, because for instance, I can't conceivably know what it is that I want, because what I want is not necessarily what I get, and nobody could want it more than I have ever wanted some of these things with all my heart and all my soul and all my might, and hours and days and days and visualizations and conversations with God and on, and I don't get that. Because there's another part of me that wants something incomprehensible to what my shallow human mind seeks to think it wants. I want something hardcore. I want something incomprehensible. I want something difficult. I want something that's going to break me. I want something that's going to challenge me to the point, and I laugh in his face when I say, you know what, you can't break me. Because I'm always going to be joyful and I'm always going to be happy, even when I'm sad. That's what I oddly, deep down inside, I appear to want that. And I don't know how to change that. I don't know how to tell that part of me to stop already. Like, can you just stop wanting that? I didn't even know that was there. It took years and years and years for me to start stumbling across it, or even admitting to myself that it was there. And like confessing the truth of it or something. And then once I started to confess the truth, it's like, well, now I'm conflicted between, I like that I want that. Like, I understand that. I understand like what it takes to want that. I understand no wonder I'm on a wisdom freaking quest, because that's you're going to get from that. So you yourself are going to have shallow wants that any human being are going to want. I want peace. I want food. I want money. I want clothes. I want a nice place to live. I want a happy life. I want people to be nice to me. All these nice things, because every human being wants these things, right? But there's something beneath the surface of your wants that goes so deep that you don't even know yourself. That's why Jesus says, know thyself. You have to know thyself. That's the path. You got to go freaking deep here. It's like, you got to heal thyself. You got to know thyself. Like, these are steps to discovering the mystery of who you are and why the paranormal life, why the haunted house, why the black goo. You see how we're getting deeper into the story here? We're starting to get to know you. The mirrors are starting to reflect. I'm starting to understand why the initial seeing. I'm starting to understand why I'm sending a part of myself into the infinite nothing in order to find the aspect of you don't want to listen to, which is somehow the same frequency positioned here at this section right here, because I can feel it myself. But why the black goo, for instance? Because sometimes these energies are going to try to get your attention, and they have gotten your attention, but nobody's telling you how to navigate it. So you're going to have to be your own researcher. You're going to have to take notes. You're going to have to study it. You're going to have to touch it. You're going to have to challenge it. You're going to have to grow gardens and the pain and the hurt in your stomach. You're going to have to do things like that. Because what I'm walking into for you is not remove the demonic entity and liquidate all the black goo. What I'm running into first and foremost, the most essential answer to your predicament is know thyself, is discover what it is you actually want to get out of this life. And now you are going to take the steps to learning, just as I have learned, how to navigate it. I mean, you're going to have to accept that it's not like, I just want a happy life where it's all practical and everything is black and white and everybody's nice in this world, you know? And I can be flexible because, yeah, people aren't always going to be nice, going to challenge me, whatnot. But for the most part, but this is not practical. This is weird. This is paranormal. And so you can want the practical, happy, simple, make it obvious human interpretation of reality, but you also deep down inside want this difficult. You want the difficulty. It's like you want to go deep. You want to explore other things. You want to make it not the same as everybody else. You're breaking the patterns. All right. Okay, so I'm pausing here as I'm integrating into a lot of different things. All right, so I want to get back to ground zero here, because understanding your relationship with this, which is really reflecting, finding the mirror and the reflection into what this life is really all about, what you could do with this life, what you can do with what you're witnessing. If you don't do anything with this yourself, you're going to have to get your hands dirty. You're going to have to try things because you're meant to expand. All right. But if you don't take any steps because you're the victim of it, you're really the victim of yourself, because yourself wants these experiences and they are unique. And you're not a victim of this at all. You're actually an explorer, an adventurer of the paranormal, literally. And you need to see yourself in this way, because that's what I'm being shown about you, okay? All right, but I want to get back to kind of like some kind of ground zero about, let's look at this black goo. What can I do to eradicate it, or what can you do to eradicate it? I'm not sure which. Oh, well, I'm supposed to show you what you can do, but I'm going to do it for you this time. So I take negative energy and I just put it in my heart. In fact, I become like a black hole and just vacuum it all into myself. And where does it go? I don't know. Do I need to hold on to it, or do I just need to let it move through? I can clear out an entire space that fast, and it could be as the size of a universe, because I can just become a black hole. I just vacuum it into myself, and there's no time, so it's instantaneously done. All right, but I learned this. I discovered this. I was terrified to try this even, but I tried it. Archangel Metatron used to show me that he would take bad energy and he would just put it in his mouth and swallow it down. He had this big smile on his face. And so I started to find myself doing this, and I found out that I'm just digesting. It's my aura. My aura just is a giant energy stomach, you could say. It just digests information. It digests material, but it doesn't have to hurt me, the human. And so I'm showing you, like Archangel Metatron showed me, everything you shared with me about the black goo, I'm seeing it from every single space, including on your legs, okay? Including in any place that is ever built up, all right? So I'm taking it from inside your home, from inside your past homes, okay? From other people and from other places outside the home, and from on your physical form, okay? So I'm collecting all of this black goo inside myself, and I just let it move through me, okay? Because it's just like sweeping up dirt and putting it in the dustpan and then throwing it in the trash. but this is energy dust, okay? This would explain why the initial scene, it wasn't good enough for me because your relationship with what you're going through, I can see the potential in you. So I'm setting the bar a lot higher for you than you're setting for yourself right now. So that false light is fine, it's not, it's fine. It's just energy information as well. It's not evil, any more evil than any other evil thing, or any more good than any other good thing. It's just a thing. And so you're just succumbing to all of this. You're just succumbing to it. And I say, wake up. And I choose to gather with my own self that is gathering the part of you that actually needs to return to your own mind's perception. This is going to help with your third eye, because your third eye perception, you are blocking it because this is the ultimate truth, and it's really hard to digest in your aura, in your third eye, because your third eye is also a stomach. It digests information, but it evaluates the information and provides reflection on that. So your third eye sees, right? It sees ideas, it sees its own idea of reality, its own idea of the truth, its own idea, the best way to handle this situation looks like this, right? So the third eye, it also can see interdimensionally, but it's our whole aura, really. That is our ultimate eye, our whole aura, all our chakras, everything. It's a total package, okay? You've got the total package. I've got the total package. We all have the total package. When we start to realize it, okay, we all have the total package. All right. Yeah, it does scare you for sure. Because I'm showing you how to absorb all this in, but I'm talking about this third eye thing. And, okay. All right. This is the next thing that happens here. There's basically like a cuckoo clock concept, like when the time strikes, the little cuckoo will come out and let you know. It's like a broken kind of, it's just like a broken piece that it's like the broken cuckoo clock piece. But I feel like fear because you're afraid to see scary things, but you're already seeing scary things. And it's paranormal to see scary things. It's totally paranormal to see scary things. I have not just seen terrifying things. I have been absolutely destroyed. And I thought I was going to die, okay, from terrifying things. But you go through terrifying things because you wake up to what you didn't know that you're learning, know thyself kind of stuff. You're waking up to knowing thyself. And you're going to have to be opening your eyes and seeing what is there and not looking for human solutions, looking for love-based solutions, heart-based solutions, spiritual solutions that you yourself contain the answers inside yourself. You are the master book. Okay, you are, it's interesting because as I say that, it's like how many like cool master books, they're like the arcane arts or the occult master book or the master book of witchcraft or something. It's like you carry all of the most interesting master books in there, okay? But part of your, you could say, initiation, and it's always comes from the heart, okay? The initiation is you're going to have to be tested. And that's the part that stinks because the test is real. It's like when I talked about my experience with Archangel Metatron, and he was always testing me, and he was a very scary person, okay? But I wasn't going to give up on seeing through what scared me. And so I was willing to be scared. I was willing to be scared and be okay with being scared. I was willing to stick with it. I was willing to know that this might not ever go away, but I'm just going to keep putting one foot in front of the other because what else am I going to do? I'm not going to let this kill me. I had those freaking conversations. It sucked. And I see that this is a totally paranormal situation. And you're going to integrate back into yourself. Even as I'm saying that, I can start to feel you let the black goo go because it's getting in the way of who you are becoming. And it's not more important than you becoming who you are becoming. That's not an ego-based thing. That's not like, oh yeah, I'm freaking awesome. It's more like, I understand. I humbly understand in a deep place, and I get what other people are going through that are going through these things, and I understand that fear. Not because, well, I did, get off of me, awful black goo. I'm not myself anymore. It's going to do that to you. It's going to take you away from yourself because you're going to let it, because you don't understand that this is the initiation, and I'm here to tell you that it is. All right, so everything's paused here for a moment. All right, so this is the next step that we're going to take here. I'm actually going to build some new ground for you. And this ground is made out of a different kind of material, not haunted, because this is also paranormal, right? And so paranormal material that represents angelic, that represents sacred, holy. So I'm building this material for you. And so you have a space to stand upon that represents all that is the purest forces of energy in the universe. And so if you have a haunted house, you have a sacred house. If you have a haunted body, you have a sacred body, right? And so we're going to do this at every single layer, okay, of your world and your life path and your past, your present, and your future. Because you need the support right now. You need the support of integrating into what you're really wanting to get out of this life, and knowing that that's really special, and that there are tools that you can work with to actually navigate these complex experiences. Okay, so here's this ground, and I'm circulating this ground, okay, is also your aura. So that means it's also your chakras. So it's also your third eye. So let's just say this ground is your soul star chakra, is sacred ground, this holy ground, is your crown chakra, is your third eye, is the energies that you experience as attached to you. You are attached to them. And so they are of the sacred ground. They are experiencing inhaling and exhaling the sacred ground. You yourself are experiencing the sacred ground, inhaling and exhaling. Soul star, crown, third eye, throat chakra, okay? Heart chakra. The solar plexus chakra is experiencing this holy, sacred frequency, also paranormal, also beautiful. Is part of the creative forces that help us grow. But fear also helps us grow too, especially when we confront it. And so we are shifting things from fear that is breaking you down and decaying you to fear that is empowering you and helping you become stronger. So you can go through this by growing through this, okay? Not becoming crippled by it, by actually becoming stronger through it. All right, so we got heart chakra, we got solar plexus, so digesting your reality. I mean, so the fact that you're struggling here with your stomach, at times it hurts because it hurts to digest energies without, it's almost like the difference between when you put the apple in the mouth, you chew it, you swallow it down. So we have this human process, right? For consumption and digestion. And then if we get heartburn, right? And so energy too must be digested. Just like when I see Archangel Metatron and he's, eating this gross, nasty stuff. He's just filling his mouth and swallowing it down, smiling at me. I'm like, what are you trying to say? And so I start bringing this energy inside myself. Like, wow, how do you create a fire? Well, you throw material in. You could have the burn barrel. You can burn your trash. You just throw the material in and you light the fire. And I am the fire. I am the light. I am the fire. You, my friend, are the fire. You are the fire, okay? You are the light. And so you can take these materials, which you are the sacred ground. You are the purification. You are all that is holy. And so this energy is transformed by that frequency, that which you are, okay? Know thyself type stuff. Heal thyself, know thyself. It's all kind of integrated. Because by knowing thyself, then you heal thyself. And as you heal thyself, you will start to know thyself even more deeply. This is profound stuff here. This is the ultimate classroom you're in. And so that is lifting your spirits up, not like, oh God, I don't want to hear this. No, it's like, thank God I'm hearing this. Thank God I'm getting this perspective. Okay, so you got the sacred ground, right? The sacred fire, the sacred you is for your stomach. And for your sacral chakra, the sacredness of life and relationships and love and connections, right? It's this sacredness of mother and father, all right, of childhood, of intimacy, sacred. And so we have this root chakra, which is the ground you stand on. The ground you stand on is holy and sacred. Therefore, your home energy is holy and sacred. And you can say in your human mind, well, it's not, it never was, or maybe it was at one time, but it became tainted. And then just remove the tainted energy. It's not like cleaning the walls, like you got black mold. Now let's just get the cleaning supply so we can kill the black mold. This is the energy world. We change the frequency. It's a different approach. It's like the radio station. I'm going to listen to people complain on and on and on. And this is how we're going to look at it. This is how we're going to complain about it. Everybody on the same page, complain about it just like this. Let's use the same words, all on the same page. I changed the station. And now I have people saying, oh, I love this stuff. It's nothing but good things to say, on and on and on. It's like, okay, what am I supposed to complain about it? I'm supposed to be happy about it. It's just, it comes back to, where are you centered within yourself in your divine truth? You become the radio station, you see? And so it's not like, oh, what's outside myself then is the radio station and I'm a victim of the radio station that I have no control over. No, you are the radio station. And everything else then is a victim of you, okay? So the haunted house, which is just broken energies, is a victim of the light and all that is sacred and all that is holy, okay? And so you step into the haunted house because you're an adventurer of the paranormal and you've got boundaries, right? And so you step into the haunted house and it is a victim of your sacred, pure, holy self. And you love it for all that is broken it, for all that has created fear, for all that it is suffered through. Just like you know what it is like to suffer, as you know right now what it is like. You know what I mean? All right, so I'm reminding you, do you see how this session is rebuilding your memory? It's advice, yes, it's perspective. And so there might be a part of you, the human, that wants this to fit a certain mold or shape. I just need you to clear the haunted house and clear the dark goo energy so it never comes back and remove the entity. But I'm telling you that that isn't the same material as the apple. It's a radio station. And so I changed the radio station. But if you've tuned into this radio station and that's the only one you're choosing to listen to, then you need to start changing the radio station, not out there, but inside yourself. This is the mirror maze. This is the reflection. Heal thyself, know thyself, heal thyself. This is how you clear the black mold in the energy world. Okay? But you also coming into loving yourself for the life path that you're choosing and loving the energies upon the path, because you really are intrigued by the mysteries, okay? The interdimensional mysteries. That's what's showcasing itself here about you. And that's a special gift. And the fact that you can see it in your own way, that you can interact with it in your own way is important. That's bringing something to the table here. And it's important, and you don't have to be a victim of it because, well, it's a victim of you, but nobody has to really be the victim because all it is, we got some dirty dishes, we're just going to wash them up. And when we have clean dishes or we have dirty dishes, sometimes we have both, you know, but we change the radio stations, how we shift the frequency. Because yes, at the most superficial level, which is also the deepest level, we all want to feel the sacred, pure energies without having to try. But part of being human is stepping into the trial, the test, the hardship, and embracing that as your like cuddle buddy at night. You know, it's actually going to give you strength, true strength, okay? genuine strength, and you've got what it takes. I'm setting the bar high for you, okay? All right, so yes, we've got the sacred ground. So I've been, this entire time as I'm explaining this, which I'm not just talking, I'm empowering. And I'm also rewiring your aura, your energy field. I'm helping you to remember. I'm a reset button. So you could turn this video off, like turn off the volume, but the frequency is still accessible because I'm sharing it with you. You talked about this, about how you receive frequency, you receive tainted energy from watching videos. I experienced that too. But what do I do with it? Because everybody is expressing from the place of the radio station, right? And so we're all expressing. So sometimes I get very grossed out by what I'm experiencing, what I'm listening to, and I don't know why that is. Is it them? Is it me? So I've already created boundaries. So I want the energy to be authentically what it is. I want it to be gross if it's gross. I want to work on myself. So maybe I'm the gross one, not them. And I'm not afraid either of all the weird lip noodle energies, worms, and filth that exists out there. I'm not afraid of it because it's information, and you should not be afraid of it either. And so when I go here and you're working on, it's almost like I can feel this. I can feel this too, okay? And so what's happening right here, you need to start to see this is not like the broken cuckoo clock, or it's not like an entity that is creating harm. It's you yourself integrating in. So yes, I just said that, you yourself. You can deny that. That is definitely not me, but you're not yourself, are you? When you're in this house, your relationship with the energy of this house, you could be actually in a very energetically filthy house, but guess what? We're changing the radio station. Every time I move, which I move frequently, and I'm so tired of moving because I apparently my life is I've got to be in this space, and now I've got to be in this space, and now I got to be in this space, and so everywhere I go, I feel the energy of that space. That's my Abbey normal reality, okay? But I don't mind it if that's the way that it is. I can fix it. I can shift it. I can work on it. And guess what? If I could use some help too, because I could use some help. And so a haunted house could use some help. It's not a threat to anyone's well-being. It just could use some help. And you're the special person that can help it. You can help that dark goo. You can help this energy. So okay, we're building the sacred ground, and I see you on it, and I see you planting roots into it. But I gotta watch, because I'm curious here. Are you going to get solid with this, or would you rather be back at the dollhouse in the old Dolls movie? That's a figment of my past from somewhere. Like, what do you feel is real? And maybe you feel like the evil has power, because the world tells you that the evil has power. It's a total lie. So the evil needs you to feel like it has power, because evil doesn't exist if it doesn't have people believing that it's powerful. And so stop believing that has power. It's just broken. It's like a car that's engine doesn't work. Fix it, It's like a depressed person. They need help, But you're not, like, if I raise the bar for you and you need help, right? I'm doing this session because you need help. And this is how I'm guided to help you. This isn't just me talking, this is me doing crazy amounts of energy work for you. It's rebuilding the energy around you. It's rebuilding your relationship with yourself. It's rebuilding you. It's bringing in the frequencies of the divine. You aren't just made out of the grossness of the paranormal. You're made out of the divine of the paranormal. You know what I mean? So let me watch. You in the sacred ground. You in the authentic light of the divine. You grounded in this truth. All chakras, Earth Star chakra included, okay? Everything is grounded in this, in alignment with this. All that is dark and evil and twisted and broken and rancid and haunted is in alignment with all that is sacred. See, this is what takes me back to the beginning, and you're allowing false light. And the question is, you would ask yourself, well, how? Because that's not my intention. It's just like, how am I living these complex experiences? That's not what I ever asked for. In my heart of hearts, in my depth of manifesting all that I wanted to get out of this life, why this? Because this is what my soul actually wants. And I, as the human, can't conceive of what that is. Neither can you, neither can any of us. If you're living a real rich life, you're going to go this way. It's going to go in this way, okay? I'm going to sit down where you're sitting down between this kind of bobblehead, which is also kind of the caricature, the mature adult male face on the childlike body. So I'm just going to sit down here. We've got all these dolls around the room. We've got the dust. We've got the light, which isn't light at all. It's just like, let's just paint some white here and call that light or something. And so I'm just going to sit in the center where you're sitting and just see, why is this space so important? Why are you holding on to this? What do you need from this? Do you need it to end your life? Like, is some part of you just want it to hurt really bad? Is this trying to digest some level of grief on a way that incomprehensibly so? I feel like I'm going places that you yourself just don't ever want to go. And if you don't go there, then you are going to merge with the story that is despairing, the despairing story. That's why you have to work with the frequency. It's interesting because you were sharing about the shampoo that you're using, and there was authentic like herbal ingredients in this, and it was working for a time. Excuse me, and then it stopped. And so that's frequency as well. It's not just material; it's information. I'm going to take the frequency of that shampoo, okay? And I don't have to understand entirely. You know what it is already. And so through you, I can acquire it. And so I'm taking the frequency and I'm just going to wash this space, which represents your home, the past, the present, the future. And so all spaces across all time landscapes, okay, across your own aura and all that is your chakras, I'm just going to wash it with this stuff, okay? And this includes like the earwax stuff that I was talking about, okay? And we're just going to let it inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale, okay? What is it? What don't you want in this? I'm able to accomplish it. It's working, but what is the resistance in it? Because there's a part of you that just is not there. I need everybody on board, 100%. Everybody, and the dolls are doing it. The eyeballs that are looking are doing it. The fake light is doing it. You are even doing this here at the center, and everything's absorbing this frequency of the shampoo. But there's something here that isn't wanting this. And it's not like I could easily be like, yeah, well, sorry, you get it anyway. It's not like this. Like the black mold doesn't want, I don't know, the 95% alcohol or whatever the mixture kills it. You know, of course it doesn't want it. But you're going to get it whether you want it or not. But this frequency, it's not like I get to force it to take this energy. So let me see why that is. Grief. I was talking about there's some kind of grief. That it's not the same playing field. It's different. I'm moving too fast for your pace here for sure. Because to me, this is, you don't need this anymore. Done. But for you, you say, I need this. And so what else do you need from it? And there is a grief element in here. This is about life and death, really. This is about broken things and how broken things get stagnant. It's about dark energies. It's about where you belong. It's about your worth and value. It's grief. It's low-key depression. I mean, the depression has different volumes and different personality types. Like this is hidden depression. This is hidden depression, and this isn't based upon you going through a hard time. So of course it's highly depressing. It is going to create depression. This is actually a kind of the subconscious or whatever. It's like a deeper realm of depression in there. It's like a purgatory. It's like a low, sad song that you just keep listening to and you just stay with it. And it just creates like a comforting sorrow. And it's obscure, but it's there. It's in this solar plexus, this stomach energy of yours. And it's like burying yourself in a grave. This is complex because it's simple to me, but it's far more complex because of what you've decided your relationship is with the meanings of these frequencies. These radio stations are far more rich to you than I see. Well, this is not a good use of your time and energy. Done, 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 done. But you're like, this is. It's like, okay, this is the question of, okay, let me explain this. Okay, so let's say struggle, it's just any old example, struggle with depression. And so for how long do you want to struggle with depression? Because it's really a choice. You could say, well, it's not my choice. It's just being done to me because the richness of life just isn't felt by me. No, you are choosing it. You are actually choosing it. Every experience is your choice. And so you want to grieve the loss of someone. That's your choice, how long you want to be sad about it. You could say, it's not my choice. I understand because I've been grieving the loss also of things, people. Like I grieve the loss of stability at times. Like I grieve the loss. So change and like I can grieve things in life. And the quicker I can get at nipping this in the bud, because I'm all about staying in an empowered state. Because if I don't stay in an empowered state, I am weakening. I am falling apart. I don't need to learn from falling apart. I need to learn what is beyond this when I pulled myself together. So it is a choice. And part of what helps to navigate beyond that choice is understanding why it's worth it. I've already learned why it's worth it. You haven't learned why it's worth it yet. You haven't learned how to do it yet. I've learned how to do it. I've already learned how to close the gap on time. You haven't. I can close the gap on time. If you want this, you just listen to this whenever I'm ready to close the gap on time again. So listen to this again and again and again, okay? You don't even have to hear the sound of it because the frequency's there. You can even let this play. It just say, I'm turning this on and I'm going to receive the holy sacred frequency that Abby's sharing with me. And it's always there. Even if you don't have an electronic device, you can tap into it any time because it's a living source. It's like a node of information, of material, energy. You can tap into it any time. All right, so we're going, your situation is like, so this is slow paced. This is a slow process. And it needs to be then slow. This haunted house thing is, okay, you're grieving. This paranormal interest. This despairing tune of reality. This true suffering. You're not wanting to go deep enough. because you're looking at things you're looking at the wrong things. You're wanting to stay in the shallow waters, and your life path is guiding you into the abyss of the ocean. And if you stay in the shallow waters, you're going to have to make a commitment to taking a step deeper. I'm going to sit down here as deep as you can go, which there's such a floor that's like protecting you from going deep, because you're letting what you're seeing become scary, and it isn't. It's okay to be afraid. It's okay to be afraid, but the key to this is that the fear gets to be whatever it is, but you get to be whatever you are. And because you're afraid, like I've stood and faced some really scary stuff, and I told it I was terrified, and it was funny because it already knew I was terrified. Why did I even have to say it? But that didn't mean I let it stick to me. I was like, what are you about? You're nasty. You're uncomfortable. You're gross. You're terrifying. What are you, you know? That's how you talk to it. Talk to that dark stuff. And you're gross. You're nasty. What are you about? Then you need to be still and you need to listen, because it can speak. What is this happening here in my forehead? You're going to have to start navigating the energy world. It's easy to do. You close your eyes and you allow the creative experience to happen around you. That is your boundary space. You're in the sacred ground at all times. Sacred chakras, sacred holy energy, sacred home. I've already rebuilt everything for you. But you want to hold on to, what is it? Why is it there? But you don't even want to hold into that. You just want to hold on being stuck in a problem that can't be fixed. But yet you want it to be fixed. But your life path says, I want the abyss. I want to go deeper. I want to understand that paranormal divine and the paranormal hells, that the paranormal, I want to understand. I want to come to life in it. I want to learn about it. I want to work with it. I want to use healing energy. I want to know what it feels like to be afraid and then to conquer my fear. That's the adventurous nature. So as I keep talking to you and I keep talking to you and I keep repeating the same things over and over, because I'm kind of like the water breaking through the foundation, which are the walls that you're putting up on hearing stuff like this. So there's a part of you that just doesn't want to let the divine truth truly transform you. And you could say, I do. You got to go deeper. I'm going to talk to this part and I'm going to say, how come you're just like a boring, empty, useless wall, really? And yet you're the most important part of this dynamic. You're just like dirt on the windshield. I could just wipe you off with some Windex. And for some reason, there's a part of you that you want this shield. You want a dark shield from dark things. And it's interconnected with the illusions of a low-key depression. And it's all interconnected. But you're not working with the divine energy. You're not working with the light. You're just working with more shadow and getting yourself stuck further and further. That's why the shampoo it's an essence. It's a divine sacred energy. You've got to give it the power to work. If you're saying, oh, it's not working. Okay, well, talk to the problem. This is the energy world. It talks back. Black mold may not talk back, but this stuff does. And if it doesn't talk back, well, you actually just pick it up in your mind with your hands, and then you just move it somewhere. And you take it into an interdimensional space where there's beautiful angelic beings, and you put it into this sacred healing pond, and you place it there. And if it doesn't want to be there, too bad. I have a right to decide, you're going to be a victim of me this time. Whoa. Finally, you're finally doing something different. There's a weird, massive bell that's ringing. And there's a very angry version of you coming out. And I'm smiling, and I walk this angry you into this, sacred space. And I'm like walking my recall of the grief you into the sacred space, low-key depression you, the part of you that's a bobblehead you, all the dolls. Like, we just keep doing it layer after layer, again and again and again and again. We just wash it. We'll wash it again. We'll wash it again until there's so much of a thick echo going on in here that it's all the high frequency. It's all this bright, beautiful energy. It's all you adapting to it, working with it, playing the music of it, receiving it. It doesn't even have to be like a material thing. You just know it's there. You just know heaven is there. You just know angels are there. You just know the sacredness is there. Because that's who you are. So I'm going to ask this because right now all these are just going into another space where there's angels and there's this beautiful energy and everybody gets to receive of it again and again and again. All right, so what is it? So I'm going to just let all this do its thing over there, but I'm going to say, what is it about your home energy that genuinely, when you leave it, you feel better, but when you're in it, you don't? This takes me back to the original scene with the dolls. And you just don't want to move. You just want to stay here and in a way kind of die here. So I say, okay, then in this space, we're going to play this out. You get to stay here and then you get to die here. And we'll just play this out since you seem to need that. Once you die here, you become like billions of screaming insects. And you're screaming at all the dolls. And the dolls, they're kind of trying to hold, somehow they're good here. They're just trying to uphold some kind of, some element of good. I don't know. They don't glow. They don't seem to know anything. I don't know what good they offer, but they echo that they're upholding something good. And these screaming insects are going and trying to consume all the dolls, to break the dolls down, to make the dolls go away. And everything gets stuck after that, and it goes back to you just trying to be reborn, and you're always kind of stuck. Not enough. You're not able to do it. You're not able to get there. You're not able to make this better. And so you just live with it and live with it and live with it. And here I am, the voice saying you don't have to live with it, but you're saying, I do, I do, I do. But I'm saying you're doing this to yourself. If I want to be consumed by ill frequencies, that's not going to do me any good. If I want to move into another place, which is going to keep happening probably, it's been happening for decades. I don't know why. It's part of my life story. And I move in and it's really bad energy and it's creating nightmares, I'll just have to live with it, That's not going to do me any good. I don't want to just live with it. I don't have to. Neither do you. So do you see the voice of yourself that you're separating from yourself is the one that is constantly coming out of my system? I'm basically channeling it and telling you again and again and again and again and again and again and again that you're like, just wanting to stay in the shallow pond or wanting to, so you're listening to the wrong frequency. You're listening to the wrong information. You're listening to what you want this to be, but you're not wanting to change. You need to change. Okay. I'm waiting. I'm lingering because I'm waiting for you. I need to see it, okay? To know that you're going to get there, okay? I need to see the you that you are integrating into this you. It's happened a couple times, but it's not like, I really want this to be loud and proud here. It's just like not quite clicking yet. That you're almost clicking with it. Because once this clicks, there is no haunted house anymore. There is no frequencies that can hurt you. Once this clicks, it doesn't unclick. And there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. You've already been through enough. Now it's time to find your joy. It's time to exist in joy. It's time to share the joy and the sacred frequencies, the divine frequencies, whether you understand it or not, to come to life, to be the fire. I'm just still channeling this voice that you're not letting yourself, and you're saying it's a demon, but that's your dark side. It's you. Okay? So let me see it. Let me see if you're going to adapt to this yet. Because this light part of you is your life force. It's you. It's your spark. It's there. It clears all of this energy out. Life is still going to be hard, but you've got the ingredients to get through anything. And you get to explore the paranormal. Okay, I'm asking my guys, how do we shift this? Like, you're so close, but you're just not there yet. What is the next step in this? I can't force it, but I can guide, okay? I can guide you to this. I'm going to pray for you. As in, I see you, I'm on the outside of a box that you're existing inside of, and you're kind of paralyzed and influenced by your belief systems of the situation, which it can definitely be true, but it also can be not the whole truth, okay? So what you're going through is true, but it's not the whole truth. We're just looking at it through a dirty window. But we're not looking at it through the clean window. And we're not looking at the opportunity to clean up the circumstance or how to even begin to do it. Because you got to believe in yourself. You have to choose to believe in yourself. I've given you everything you need in this session in order to do it. You can do this, okay? All right, so I see you inside this box. You're just kind of paralyzed in there. And so I connect with all that is creation. And as I connect with all that is creation, because it's already inside of me, I just go deeper and deeper and deeper into my connection until it becomes very, very electric. And I feel it right now. I feel it pulsing through me. I just that fast, bam, I'm that fast with it. Like why? Like I'll slowly get to this electric feeling. No, I'm like electric, So I close the gap on time. Done. Get it done, And so this electricity, it just fills my whole being. And I touch the space that you're in. And I tell this space that you're afraid. I know that you're afraid, and you don't have to be afraid anymore. And it's okay. It's okay to receive this memory about the creative forces that even created you. And to not want to let go and to not want to change. But this is a calling. I'm doing this work for you today because this is a sign from God kind of thing. This is a big deal. This isn't some convenient conversation. This is huge. This is a sign, okay? This is a prayer for you. This is huge. Are you letting it happen? Or is it not fit the mold that it needs to sound like? It fits the mold. It fits the mold. And so I'm sending this frequency through, and I'm choosing to see that it is able to receive. This is like that energy I told you. I was using the shampoo frequency and the dolls, and I was like, but there was something there that wasn't letting it in. And so I'm looking at it again from another angle here. And now I'm sending the prayer and all the electricity and all the creative forces into what created this prison in the first place. Is what you're going through is a self-imprisoned nightmare. It's a paranormal mystery. It's complicated, but it's solvable. You got what it takes. Go gadget, you got what it takes. And I'm just dissolving because my gosh, there's like it's like a jawbreaker. Just so many layers. Like you're just inside of so many layers. And I'm just dissolving these layers and dissolving these layers. It's like wake up in there, wake up. This creative frequency is you too. You're this creative frequency. What binds you, what sets you free, you yourself and all your memories, all the same creative frequency. I'm reminding you of this radio station. I'm reminding you what it sounds like. I'm giving you access to it again. You've always been familiar with it. You just forgot. So I'm just doing this for you. And I'm doing this for this grief you. I don't know how to understand it entirely. That would be like a whole other pathway. But I'm doing this creation of grief and this gift to choose how long to grieve and everything. I'm gifting you the memory of the creative forces and that you too are part of this divine and sacred energy. It's kind of like there's only one side of the story. No, there's every side of the story. It's illuminating all parts of yourself, all sides of the story. It's touching your home, it's touching your aura, it's touching your chakras, it's touching your soul, it's touching your memories, it's touching past, present, and future. You receiving it, you allowing it in, you not blocking yourself. Continue to give this to your dark side, continue to give this to your light side. So I can rebirth you back into wholeness so that we can shift your dimensional connections and your radio stations. It's okay for things to be gross sometimes. It's okay for energy to be scary. It's okay. But it doesn't have any power. It's like angels are scary too. Archangel Metatron's perfect example. Very scary angel. All right? Like because of the intensity and because of the sort of the divine essence of all that is ancient and crazy deep and scary and beautiful all at the same time is what I pick up on from him. But what does that mean? Are you working with angels? You don't have to work with human beings. You want to know who my master teacher is? Myself. I didn't want that. That was really annoying. I had to start working with myself. That's how lonely it was. You have the most incredible master teacher inside yourself. And then as I started to discover the power I had to guide myself through these things and to have my own experiences and to work with Mother Earth, just nature, and talk to God, and I started meeting like alien beings and angels and all this, and I started to learn from everything. And it was all me. It's a world full of everything and nothing because it just comes back to this simple person. That's sort of Pandora's box all at the same time. See, I'm still sending creative forces to you. I haven't stopped. Whether my hands are up or they're not up, they're still happening, okay? Still sending this to you. That's how much of a jawbreaker energy, or you're kind of like in a cocoon of some kind, like inside of a steep stone. And I'm gonna have to come full circle. I'm sharing all the depths that I can, and I'm resurrecting you here, okay? And part of this is a divine time thing, but this proves to me that this session here and today is divine time. Is you're given by the universe a gift, and let it work for you. Let it guide you, let it activate for you, let it help you remember. Let it open the door of your spirit. Let it get you curious. Let it get you exploring. Let it buy yourself some crystals or visualize crystals. That also is just as powerful. What I like though is you're a lot more in tune with my own frequency. You're a lot more receptive. You're a lot more through many, many heavy layers. You're a lot more on the other side of like, I don't know how to describe it. the introductory experience, the mirror space, seeing your true reflection, understanding how energy works, trying out some things, working with the sacred paranormal energies, bringing those energies into yourself, waking up the parts of you that are kind of consumed by a dark shield that you yourself feels like it protects you, but it doesn't. But how are you to understand with this strange low-key grief? And maybe it's some purgatory past life. I don't know how to understand. It doesn't matter because it's already starting to dissolve. Just like a jawbreaker in time dissolves. It is dissolving. And even in the energy space, like I'm closing the gap on time, but I can't force the steps. I have to honor the divine time. So it's dissolving. That's why I'm lingering here. That's why I'm sticking around, because I know I just want to see this shift. Like I'll feel it. And I do see you coming up and out, but you're disoriented and confused, and you're not really familiar with who you are or what this means to you. You just kind of stuffed yourself in a tomb. And everything that's happening around you is trying to tell you about it, but you see it as the problem. And it's hard to put your finger on where the problem really is. Because all it is resurrecting back into the high frequencies, the divine light energies. And so this is a very electric, this is a very creative force experience. This is a very big reset button. I'm reprogramming your entire energy field. I'm resetting all your chakras, your aura, and even your home energy and your past, present, and your future to align with this reset button, okay? I believe in you. Now take I believe in you and say it to yourself. I believe in you. And look in the mirror and see the master teacher that exists there and the power that you have to make the biggest difference and to live the most extraordinary life you could ever hope to have. You're not under the boot of it. You're actually the one wearing the boots, okay? And once you figure it out, just like I did, you never forget it. You can't undo it. You figure it out and it's like you're unstoppable. Next thing you know, you're going to be closing the gap on time. You're going to be wanting to stay in an empowered state because I don't want to take the time to fall apart. I don't need to know anything about what happens when I do that. I'm just going to hold myself together and keep going because I want to see what's on the other side of this mountain and what's on the other side of this mountain, because I find that to be exciting. It's real life. It's real living. Okay. Well, that's what we've got. I gave you as much time as I could. And this is a very, very thorough and in-depth supportive session. And I know it's a bit repetitive, but channeling your true divine language, but also stepping into it myself and experiencing it, there's quite the voice inside of you, like a hierarchy of like real positive and triumphant energy. So you're just kind of your yin yang. You could call it your yin yang. You're kind of like more the stone weight of like the grief or the sorrow or the buildup energy. It's like, and then sending away or containing inside this really dense cocoon, like jawbreaker energy, this inner light. And you've got to listen to the power of like the divine paranormal. As I keep saying, I just keep saying it, right? So this is a very electric, impactful session, and thank you again for this opportunity, and other people can receive this energy too. So if you're watching, maybe this isn't your situation, you're just curious, just receive this activating energy. It's going to work in the right equation for you. It's going to be the right equation for anybody listening in, because it's where it's this for one person, it's going to be this for another person, but it's all the same creative forces and it's all electric and very activating, and it's clearing residue away that no longer serves your purpose, you, the client who I'm getting to work with today, but everybody watching. That's the gift of this public session. So we're all going to be blessed here from this. It all comes back to we're all blessed. So thank you. And wow, for those who watch the entire thing, if I can help you in a session, navigate your unique situation there. I didn't take on any unique situation. There's nothing I can't do because everything is frequency. So you can book a session at my website, abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Have an awesome day.